Βρισκόμαστε στην κοινότητα του Αγίου Δημητρίου στο Έτμοντον, όπου είχε λάβει μέρος μια ενδιαφέρουσα συνάντηση συμπεριλαμβανομένων και αστυνομικών, δημοτικών συμβούλων, του Αρχηγού του Δημαρχείου και μέλη του κοινού για να συζητήσουν διάφορα θέματα που αφορούν την κοινότητα εδώ στο Έτμοντον, και ήταν μια ευκαιρία για το κοινό να ακούσει τι έχει να πούν οι αστυνομικοί, να ακούσει το κοινό τι σχέδια έχει το Δημαρχείο για την περιοχή και όχι μόνο για το Δημαρχείο του Enfield γενικά, και να μιλήσουν με τους Δημοτικούς Συμβούλους της περιοχής για τα διάφορα θέματα και προβλήματα που αφορούν τους πολίτες. Ήταν μια πολύ επιτυχημένη συνάντηση. Ευχαριστούμε και την Εκκλησία του Αγίου Δημητρίου, την Επιτροπή, τους ιερείς που μας είχαν παρέχει μία αίθουσα και τους ευχαριστούμε. Προσφέρθηκαν διάφορα αναψυκτικά και εδέσματα και εύχομαι αυτές οι συναντήσεις να λαμβάνουν μέρος συχνά, διότι τελευταίως παρατηρήθηκε ότι έχει κάπως παραμεληθεί αυτές του είδους εκδηλώσεις. Έτσι το Δημαρχείο θα συνεχίσει, διότι υπήρχε πολύ ενδιαφέρον απόψε, διήρκησε για 3 ώρες και ακόμα ο κόσμος είναι εδώ να συζητεί τα θέματα.
Thank you for coming. Thank you to the church and to the auxiliary committee for arranging all these drinks. The Father John is here. He helped us to set up the hall. Thank you, Father John, for the way. This hall is available for weddings, christenings, meetings, and if you want further information, it's either Father John or auxiliary members, the chair of the committee, and Yamis is the one. Most of council officers know him because he's dealing with a lot of information. And they know you here because you did come here and you lived with your daughter. So, without any further ado, can I start from my left? Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Councillor Martin Bidakova, and I am for Hazelbury Ward in the Council of Savva.
My name is Mustafa Çetinkaya, Councillor Mustafa Çetinkaya. I am also Hazelbury Councillor.
Can I just say something? You need to speak up. I can't hear from this
Yes,
end.
speak up.
Please. Thank you.
Hello, good evening everyone. I'm Councillor Adrian Edville. I'm the leader of the council and I'm a ward councillor for Edmonton Green Ward.
I can speak up. Good evening everyone. My name is Councillor Margaret Greer and I am the councillor for Upper Edmonton.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm PCS Hussain from the Lower Edmonton Safety Neighbourhood Team. I'm the representative of the police station. Good evening, PCS O'Sullivan from Lower Edmonton.
I'm Lucia. I'm also Lower Edmonton.
Are you giving reports from lawyer?
Yeah, so we're talking here on behalf of Lower Edmonton, Upper Edmonton, and
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you indeed.
And good evening everyone, I'm Councillor Sinan Bostas for Lower Edmonton. We are all here as a Lower Edmonton, thank you.
What time? Anybody inside to tell?
Actually, no, my
A lot of
councillor
people
looks like.
here. Listening from the chair of the Edmonton
Edmonton
Labour Party, Sue from Cape, a lot of people, the chair of Cape, the
Lower Edmonton.
Also, I would like to thank Hellenic
Excuse me, need a reward.
There's a very good
cake.
cake. That's Edward. Yeah, it's you.
Yeah.
Hellenic TV asked to record this. It's been doing, this television company has been doing a lot of work across all local authorities, Barnet, Haringey, Enfield, many other local authorities, has interviewed past and present mayors, so Hellenic is no stranger, it's not a stranger to the communities. So we thank them for covering this event, and we will go into the main part of the business, which is the agenda. Apologies I have from Councillor Ellie Verpil. She's working very late. She's working in the NHS. Doris, I cannot not well. Thomas Falls as well.
And apologies from Councillor Gunay.
Thank you. Well, my name is Savva. I'm a Head of Periwalk Councillor as well. And we go on to, what's it, I hang on my glass here.
Police update from free votes.
Okay, I'm going to sit down and the floor is yours. So you can kick off from where? From which area?
I'm from Lower Edmonton.
Lower.
So we'll start
Okay,
there.
thank you.
So I'm here from Lower Edmonton and police officer on that board. The other two board officers do send their apologies, and I will take down any notes on my laptop or anything that anyone wants to pass back to them. Or I have all of their contact details for the ward right next to me if any of you want it. So I've just had some ward figures recently. These are all available. We pass them at our ward panel meetings. I don't know if any of you attend your ward meetings, but it's open to everyone. We invite the councillors every time. It's one of the best places if you do want to talk intimately with people who work solely for your ward. So within Lower Edmonton, theft of motor vehicles, this quarter, in September there were 9, October there were 5, and November there were 7, so it is descending, even though a few fluctuations. For robbery, in September there was 2, in November there was 3, in October there was 3, in November there was 2, and for burglary, which is one of the bigger issues for Lower Edmonton, there were 4 in September, 6 in October, and 7 in November. Our ward priorities set at every ward panel meeting, as they sit for Lower Edmonton, is violence against women and girls, which is the general police focus. Bounces Road is a very central highway, as I think a lot of you will know, and Oswald Place, which is just opposite the bus garage. And our team has seen a lot of activity there recently and a lot of very good results. Just very quickly, in terms of Upper Edmonton, their quick statistics. So with robbery last quarter, in October it was 8, November it was 18, and in December it was 11. For burglary, October it was 12, November it was 6, December it was 12. Theft in person, in October it was 38, November it was 56, and December it was 40. And for theft from motor vehicle, in October it was 33, December it was 20, November it was 20, December it was 10. For Hazelbury, in October it was 7, November it was 9, and December it was 9. For burglary, October was 6, November was 10, and in October it was 15, November it was 13, December it was 11. Theft from motor vehicle, October 12, November 9, December 9. And for theft of a motor vehicle, in October it was 9, November it was 11, December was 7. So I think it's kind of obvious that for a lot of the crimes there's a lot of fluctuations. It's the sort of time of year where you see an increase of certain crimes and a decrease in others, and that is going to change, particularly in the coming months when it gets a lot warmer. That is sort of all I have to say in an update from our front, but is this where we sort of open it and talk to other people about their or are you happy for me to leave it in my update, or do you want me to sort of speak?
Well, are there any questions to the officer? Or was she reported? You put your office.
Hello, my name's Susan Buckley. I own 187 Willoughby Lane, which is Willoughby Lane is at the junction between Dyson's Road and the border of Tottenham and Upper Edmonton. I've owned the property for 25 years.
I'm just going to be taking notes. I hope you don't mind. I promise I'm not being rude. I'm just noting down what you say.
I've owned the property for 25 years, and over the last 15, it's progressively got worse. The reason why it's got worse is quite simple. Once they put a betting shop with 3 shops that are off licenses, the surrounding industrial estate, the guys that are on low wage, low income, come to these places, drink, eat, throw their rubbish down. That then brings in drug dealers, and we have a continuous battle in front of my house with drug dealers. I've sent videos to the council. What I don't want, and my nephew has to live with me now because they try to intimidate me by abusing me. They abuse him all the time. He can't do anything. We don't want the police coming there because then they're saying that we're informers. I don't care if they call me an informer, but he's a young man. He's in a totally different situation than me. You know, they will attack him. They've come with bats, bars. These men, it's their business. It's what they make their living out of. Drugs is what they make their living out of. To get rid of him, they've won the battle. I can't afford for them to kill him. And that's why I've come to this meeting. I've never been to a meeting before, but it's got so bad. They're throwing needles into my front garden. They've even shat in my front garden, the drug addicts. Because the drug dealers are there, it brings in more addicts. They don't move. Literally, you've got to step over them to get into your own house. It's that bad. Needles, we've not had a neighbour stay for more than 18 months. They've constantly moved out because they can't have their children out, they can't play out. We had a lovely neighbour, little baby, they had a little baby, the husband, they were from Brazil, the husband was too scared to leave the wife in the house, she wouldn't come out. And they were actually putting the drugs in their front garden. This is the problem we're having. The drug addicts, obviously, if there's drug dealers, there's drug addicts. And there's a betting shop, free off licenses, providing them with cheap booze or whatever. It's out of control. Day and night, they're out there. And we have to live like that, and I'm constantly complaining. There's no community, because when I complain, it's like, oh, no one complains. How could no one complain? There's loud music till 4 or 5 in the morning from cars. You call the police, there's nothing they can do. This must be something you can do, because they turn the music down when the police arrive, the police go, they turn the music. They're even having barbecues, and sometimes there's 60 strong people dancing in the street. Come on, we need help. It's gone on too long. They know you're driving up to them, turn down the music, go down. We've got a shop, Harry's and 2 off licenses. It now needs a camera monitoring. I don't care if you monitor my house. I need it monitored, because as far as I'm concerned, the next stage here would be the death of my nephew. I cannot stress the fear I have. It's a real fear.
Sorry to just add on to it. It's to the point about we actually have to come here.
They are together.
Following the leader speech, and the councillors will take over, there will be a session 1-to-1.
Okay.
But this is a policing matter.
So sorry,
Chair. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, can we carry on with this matter only? Because it's most of the area has simulated.
Yeah, I know some of them are private.
No, not fully private. They are just talking general for now.
Note down and listen to everything you have to say. Email them as well, okay? We'll both do it. They're the best people. But I'm writing down everything you say. I know exactly what you're
So
saying.
basically, what I want, all I want is a regular police presence to move these people on, to let them move away from the area so that children can play. There's no needles everywhere. They put them into our bins. I'm worried about the dustmen as well. I mean, it's unbelievable. And when I bought the property, there wasn't this problem.
Yeah.
So we've now got a new housing estate behind.
Is that Haringey?
No, it's
Meridian. This is
Oh,
Meridian.
Meridian Way, yes. I know what you mean, yeah.
So just to add on to the reason why we're here is basically to inquire information about who's at fault with it. Because obviously this is not the first inquiry that's already been made. There's been many private investigations and documentaries from Channel 4 to BBC, YouTube, all around the country. Everyone knows that Edmonton has the worst area for this sort of problem.
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube right now and there's documentaries about it. So who's at fault for there to not be awareness of the community to be in such a dreadful state? Because if there could be individual private investigations, the police and the council must know about this issue.
Can I respond to one at a time first? Is that okay? Sorry. So we are aware of the issues, and I'm not in Upper Edmonton Safety Neighbourhoods issue. To answer your question regarding antisocial behaviour, the reason why the statistics aren't right here is because antisocial behaviour spreads a very wide array. So it's very difficult with our systems, particularly within the Met. We've got a new system. We aren't able to get an antisocial behaviour reading. My inspector is working towards it, but because it spans a wide array of different issues, it's too broad.
It'd be off the charts.
It would be off the charts. And that is something that he is working towards, and that's something that we will hopefully get in the coming months. And I don't know if you go to your ward panel meetings, but I've given you a piece of paper there.
So what would drugs and soliciting
Drugs and soliciting all fall within antisocial behaviour.
That's on the...
Yeah, and like I say, it's a very big spectrum that fits into that one definition, so I can't give you a reading for it, unfortunately. Whereas burglary, robbery, they're very clearly defined in Blackwell's textbook. We can pull up the reading like that. It's difficult to. I completely agree. Yeah, they're all, everything is unfortunately linked. And with regards to whose fault it is, all of us. And I can't apologise enough on our behalf. But it's us and the council, and it's a multi-generational issue that we have all inherited. I'm about a year and a half into the job, and we do what we can. We have low turnover. We have a new superintendent. One of you mentioned Mr. Byrne. We now have Mr. Bradley, whose first name I am unsure of. But Mr. Bradley is our new superintendent, so he sits above James Wright. So if anyone ever wants to raise things with concerns, he is very happy to speak to residents, to hear anything.
I understand want to speak to them, but what is the action?
Yeah, what is the can that you
Okay,
said?
what's the action?
What's the can that you said?
The can?
Yeah, you said you're doing what you can.
Yes.
What is the can?
So particularly with Dyson's Road, that is not my area, but I am aware that there are certain warrants that are happening. You speak about the off licences, which I'm very aware. Dyson's and Willoughby Lane are difficult because they do sit on the border. The alleyways you mentioned, there is one long alleyway that runs along the back, and we've had issues with that because the alleyway belongs to Haringey. So whilst we have a lot of crime, any of the crime that happens within that alleyway, any ASB, anything, that's the issue. They are aware that it's a weak point because it is a jurisdictional issue. It sits between Upper Edmonton and Northumberland Park. That's 2 ward teams, 2 different policing boroughs, 2 council boroughs. We are aware of the issues and we're working towards them.
Thank you, officer. Hold on, hold on. You can have a private word after the...
But I will pass it on to the ward team, I
It will be
promise.
better because otherwise it gets into very
No worries, it's just that she's opened it to
No, you're absolutely right. You've done the right thing just to come here and raise these things, and that's all we want to do. But I've got a certain timetable here. I don't want to overrun it. Otherwise, we'll get 11 o'clock. I would like to ask the leader to come in for a minute, and then I'll come to you, Heather. Hold on a minute. I've seen your hand, and I've seen your hand. I know, but the leader has requested to intervene.
I'll be just 2 minutes. I'm very grateful to the police for the work they do in our borough and across Haringey as well. I just want to reassure everyone, especially those from Upper Edmonton and Edmonton Green, is that we're currently in a joint operation with the police called Operation Pisces. Operation Pisces is a massive operation covering Upper Edmonton, the roads that you've mentioned. We're completely aware of the issues, and Operation Pisces hopefully will clear, hold, build the area. And this is the second sort of operation that's going to be conducted in the North London region. The first one was conducted in a neighbourhood in Barnet, which was infamous for gun crime, and it's worked there. So the police are aiming to replicate the police are aiming to replicate some of the work. Separately to that, we've secured about £12 million levelling up money from the new government, who have promised to invest into especially Upper Edmonton. There's a list of about 16 projects. We're working very closely with the police, with our key strategic partners like React, and Selina's in the room, and I'm grateful to her for the work she does. So I promise you, as the leader of the council, and with the police's presence, that we're working hand in hand to tackle these issues. Thank you, Councillor George Savva, for organising this meeting. Genuinely speaking, it's such a good turnout. In my 6.5 years as councillor, I think this is the highest ward forum turnout I've seen. So this is excellent. And in January, in a cold, dark evening. So well done, George. Yeah. Yeah. And thank you, many thanks to the police and to all of you for coming. Father John, thank you for having us, and the committee, and special thanks to Hellenic TV for recording the evening, who are our local press. It's so important that you're here today. It's so important because we've all got lives, we've all got families and duties and work, and the fact that you've actually spared some time to come out to raise these issues, it really means a lot to us, to the police, and to everyone involved. Because it's important that we listen. And even though we're sitting on this side of the table, please don't think that we're not associated with these issues, or that we don't know. We all live local. We all live local. I've got 2 kids who I'm trying to raise in the borough. We all live here, we all work here, and we know the issues. I actually lived on this road for about 20 years, only recently moved out. So I'm no stranger to this church. It's a fantastic facility in the area. And we've got to work together to deliver an Edmonton that's fairer, cleaner, greener, and safer for all of us and for future generations. The plan is that we eventually leave Edmonton better than we found it, and that's what we work towards every day. And as the new leader of the council, someone from Edmonton, this is what I strive to do. We live in a resilient community, but it's no secret, as we've said, that we've faced significant challenges over the years. Cuts, austerity, a crashed economy, and many other issues have left us dealing with crises that we haven't created as a local authority. But we stand here to reaffirm our commitment and of your Labour-led council to fight for Edmonton's future and to genuinely improve lives. As I said, I grew up a stone's throw away from this church. I know the challenges. So I want to speak about my priorities, genuine priorities. The first priority, as that young man mentioned, was a cleaner Edmonton. Keeping our streets clean and welcoming is at the heart of our mission. That's why we've delivered dedicated street sweepers in all wards, including here in Edmonton. Hard-working teams on the ground every day, making sure litter is cleared and issues are reported quickly. We've also got a high number of vans on the streets, clearing illegally dumped rubbish every day. But most importantly, we've deployed mobile CCTV units, we've put up signage stencils to deter illegal dumping. But deterrence alone isn't enough. We've also stepped up enforcement. Our teams investigate every reported case. We've increased prosecution against those who disrespect our community by illegally dumping. And we also go door to door. For example, if you live in a HMO, we ask if you've got enough bins. If you live in a house where we can't visibly see the bins outside, we ask where the bins are. Sometimes people prefer to store it on the side or behind the property. So we're dedicated to making sure that things are in place to prevent fly tipping from happening in the first place. Education is another critical part of our approach. We've organised door-knocking campaigns and sessions to inform residents, and we go into schools as well to talk to young people. We also offer free bulky waste collections. We're one of the few boroughs in London that does that. And even though it's a cost to the council, we're dedicated to protecting that. We've also just delivered a new recycling centre of an LWA around the corner from here. We can send a clear message together that fly tipping is not tolerated in Edmonton or anywhere else in Enfield, and we've got to work together. The more reports that go in to our website, the more we are emboldened and strengthened to be able to make the case for more resources. My second priority is a safer Edmonton. Working closely with the police, I can assure you that we are going to deliver a safer Edmonton and a safer Enfield. Safety is a fundamental right, and we're taking bold steps to ensure Edmonton is a safer place for everyone. We're proud, as I said, to partner with Operation Pisces, and we support it fully. This project is about tackling serious violence and organised crime, cleaning up our streets, and protecting our most vulnerable. And just recently, we celebrated the success of an estate clean-up project, Joyce and Snell's, and we continue to monitor every day. For example, there was a drug den. One of the flats was a drug den. We came up with the intelligence, the police enforced, and we managed to tackle that specific property. A stronger future for Edmonton's young people is my next priority. Edmonton's future lies in its young people, and I'm proud to say that despite years of government austerity from previous governments, 98% of our schools are actually rated good by Ofsted, and we're aiming to improve that day in, day out. We're also aiming to deliver some school streets to make sure that our primary school roads are not littered with too much traffic and traffic incidents. And this will make sure that, for example, Brettenham Road, if it does go through our pressure, the road will be closed for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, to make sure school children are not impacted by rat-run traffic runs and speeding. But we know there's much more to do. We've just invested 11 million to equip Winchmore School's new sixth form building, and we're investing heavily into our existing schools, our streets maintenance, and so much more. We're committed to ensuring every child has access to high quality education, and that our schools are equipped to handle the challenges our young people face. And as I've mentioned before, and I just want to reiterate and underline that together we can build a cleaner, safer, greener, fairer Edmonton. But none of this can happen without your support, your voices, your ideas, your concerns. So let's continue to work together. And once again, thank you for being here today. Any questions you've got, I'm more than happy to hear them. A politician does love the sound of his own voice, but as I've said, I'm here to listen, and I'm here to listen to your concerns. Thank you.
1, 2.
Yeah, you made very good points, and I think everyone's sort of educated enough to understand that you can't do everything that is on the agenda, and you can't solve every problem at once. But just common knowledge and common sense would tell you that, not to say you per se, but just a general understanding, that each agenda that you have is interlinked. You go to certain areas, I have a window door repair company, you go to certain areas in London, they don't have certain problems because certain other issues are there. You won't have loitering, you won't have bins issues, you won't have littering because there is no crime and deviance, because there is a lack of opportunities for young people in the areas. There's not an issue with off licenses, betting shops. I had a documentary company which was called Let's Be Real just before the pandemic happened, and it was like having panels of people like yourself doing stuff. Sadly, because of the pandemic, we had to close it down. But there was a documentary that we did, and it was about the poorest and richest part of the borough, and which borough had the best of the poorest.
I completely agree with everything you said, but I just want to make a slight correction, if that's okay. We do deliver signage, deterrents, stencils on the floor, mobile CCTV units, similar to what other boroughs do as well. If there are specific roads where you want signage, all you have to do is email. And I know Councillor Greer has actually asked and pushed hard for more signage deterrence. But it's supposed to be an holistic approach. So it's not just about signage, it's education, enforcement, deterrence, all of it. You also mentioned NLWA. We've both raised our concerns to them. We've asked them to do more promotion of their recycling centre, their facility. If anyone can't access NLWA, because it is difficult to get to, we have a recycling centre in Barrowell Green, just over the road on that side. We also have a free bulky waste collection service. So there are several options for residents always. Kenning Hall Park, let's pick that up separately if that's okay. Drop me an email. We could do a site visit together. TfL, Transport for London, are a separate body. They're a massive, they're a slow-moving beast, just like any other local authority. They're too big to handle sometimes. TfL, we do go back and forth with them. We work very closely with them. Thankfully, they've agreed to deliver a crossing between Silver Street train station, connecting it to Upper Edmonton, and they've also agreed to do more proactive work, cutting hedges, clearing the roads that they manage. So I'm grateful to you for constantly raising that as well.
Just a quick one. One of the councillors from Haringey informed me at a meeting that I attended that they have a contract with Veola, who I contacted, because there's litter all along Willoughby Lane to where it joins with the Meridian water. You know, So we took photographs because the Meridian water manager gave me the number, so I contacted them. They were polite, they were efficient, they were very determined to get on the issue. And I was led to believe by the councillor that their contract stipulates that if anyone calls them, they are by contract supposed to address that problem within a window of 1 hour, 2 hours. We don't have that privilege. So maybe that's another thing that needs to be looked at, where we have a different strategy that's costing us more, again, false economy, where we look at the contract that we have with our cleaning team. And finally, I do not think that the cleaners that I have on my street love my street. I tell you why, because I keep on telling them, would you clean that? And he tells me that's not his patch. And then I ask him, whose patch is it? I haven't seen that person. And then he tells me that he's not going to cross the road because that is not his patch. And then when I start taking photos, then he looks at me as though I'm an alien. I want him to be moved to where he can use toothpick to pick his own rubbish. He doesn't like my area, and I have enough rubbish in my area. I'm glad I'm making you laugh and clean up the council. This is our problem.
Yeah.
I would just like to.
No, hold on a minute. Look, what would you like to do? I promised Nassimi he's going to speak. Nassimi is going to speak. Hold on a minute.
Listen to the chair.
Hold on a minute.
I just want to finish. We live on the border. Edmonton is our side, Tottenham is their side. Every day Tottenham is cleaning one side of the road.
Yes.
Edmonton isn't cleaning.
Okay.
She's absolutely
the reason why I just wanted to further on to your point, so it's not long, not winded. These sound like rants, but they're all connected. And the reason why I say that is that this lady here made a very good point, is that there's funding, and it's been mentioned a million times by this role here, that there's funding issues. You solve one problem, it's going to connect the dots to another issue. And we live on Willoughby Lane, there's only around about 10 residents there. The issue to do with the majority of the problems around that surrounding area is on that one road. The rubbish collection and all that other stuff will trickle into other places. And that's why I just want to make sure that you understand that. All these other issues with the surrounding areas are all connected to one issue. And once you connect that one issue, we'll see. And that will save you a lot of money in funding, and save you a lot of problems when dealing with issues like this. And you won't have so many people in these sort of forums. And that's literally going to just save you a lot of hassle. That's all I've got to say.
Nassimi, thank you for your patience.
Okay. Well, I just want to confirm. I'm so sorry. I know he has. He has to forgive me. I just want to reiterate my assurance to you all that one of my key priorities is a cleaner Edmonton. I've mentioned everything that we're already doing, right? Everything that we're already doing. Selena mentioned Veolia, that's a private company. that Haringey contracts. And these are options that we can always look into, but it's a three-pronged issue, isn't it? It's enforcement, education, and it's deterrence. But everything you said we'll take on board. These are issues that we know. We know these issues exist. We're doing so many things to tackle them. There's no one silver bullet. I can promise you it's on our radar.
Look, after Nesimi speaks, I want to ask you, what would you like to do? Continue discussing, and then we will miss Councillor's update, and then we will miss the one-to-one, because I know some residents want to speak to Councillors one-to-one. So I will respect their wish, and I will have Nesimi as the last speaker. We will continue if any councillors have any updates, or we're going to break into three sections. One section for Lower Edmonton, the other one for Hazelberry, and the other one for Upper Edmonton. Margaret, you're on your own. I hope you can manage. I know you're not feeling well. You've got friends, don't worry.
I got friends.
But we've got the Upper Edmonton, we've got the Lower Edmonton Synambostas. You've got more than you bargained for, 3 Hazelberry councillors. You've got the leader as well. So,
You can have
Nesimi, please speak, and then we will break into 3 sections, okay?
I just want to mention 3 things. That's the issue. Main issue is for fly tipping is because of the tenants. Every 6 months they change it. Antisocial behavior. 2014, start from 2010 to 2014, in Edmonton area, property mainly bought by Westminster Council and Chelsea and Kensington. If you go to the estate agent, 2014, say, can I buy this house? They say, sorry, Westminster bought. All the antisocial behavior problem people in the Chelsea and Westminster moved to Edmonton. Because what happened? They live in the house, it's 2.5 million, and they bought property here is 300,000, they all move here. They say, we give you a big house. And the crime and antisocial behavior is coming. And what we did, 2014, George Savva and myself, councillor, gentlemen were new councillor, and before that, and we decided to issue a landlord licensing. That's the only way we can pressure to the landlords. How many landlords owning the majority of property rented in Edmonton? Do you know it? 30 landlords. 30 landlords owning Edmonton's majority of the properties. That's what the tourism.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was on the housing committee. That was the council's report. And then we tried to get the property license to get power to make pressure to landlords to, because we cannot control the tenants. Tenants coming doesn't speak English, and that kind of lots of distributors police come here, and they know us 6 months later we can find their address, we can find their details, etc. And then this decision has been voted in the council, and the High Court returned it. And then 2018, and then we push again to the government. It is passed now, and the Enfield is issuing the selective license and mandatory license. Mandatory for the HMO, selective for if somebody renting their single families. And the council working very hard. Savva, she's the head of the licensing. She's working very hard, but we cannot finish Edmonton this issue because of the main issue is 80%, so 70% tenants.
You make a good point, but do you understand? I work with estate agents and landlords as well. It's part of my business. I have a
majority of estate agents and the landlords get lots of financing.
But the issue is
every contract we do with the chairman, and the one section say how.
I can't speak to what previous councillors or leaders have said, but as I've said in my speech, I'm from the area. I know the issues. And I'm committed, and this is why engagement is very important. Edmonton Leisure Centre, the reopening of the Leisure Centre is a key priority for me, and we're committed to ensuring everyone in the borough has access to good leisure facilities. When I became the new leader, one of the first things that I pushed for was a concrete date on the reopening, and I'm proud to report that we've secured that. And it's reopening in spring this year. The reason the centre closed was because the previous provider left it to crumble. They were called, you know what the provider were called, They created serious health and safety issues, serious mold issues, and other disrepair issues that meant that, as a local authority, we had no choice but to close it. We now have a new provider called GLO. They're also known as Better. They've invested about 5 million into the centre. We've invested about 2.5 million into Edmonton Leisure Centre. So that's 7.5 million from council investment to making sure it's one of the best facilities in the borough and indeed North London. When it does reopen, it will have a swimming pool. It will have the largest soft play in the borough. It will have bowling, which is new. It will have a strike zone and trampolining also, and so much more. And I'm glad that we're working with a better provider now called GLO. And I can assure you it's one of my key priorities. I'm a ward councillor for Edmonton Green. It's in my ward. Edmonton Leisure Centre means so much to me and to my colleagues. And I promise you that it's going to reopen. You mentioned several other issues, and I couldn't agree more. All of the issues that we've talked about, these are real issues. They're real issues that impact real people. And I can assure you that we're doing everything we can in our power. And the 11 million, it has been signed off. The projects, there are about 16 projects. All of those projects will be made more clearer, and they are in talks with local community groups, local stakeholders, and if they haven't engaged with you, let us know, so we can tell the Journeys and Places team to engage with you.
Can I just say on that 11 million?
Yes.
It's really important because, as you've seen,
there is support for school streets. For example, Mustafa, you wanted to say something, and then I think the chair either is going to take questions or he's going to put us into groups. But Mustafa's got something to say.
Mustafa, I'm going to have those who live in Hazelbury there, those who live in Lower Edmonton there, Upper Edmonton and Lower Edmonton here. After you have spoken, I'm going to split in 3 sections. Can I remind everybody, if you haven't signed, please sign it so we can contact you by email for any events that we have. If nobody has signed yet, the list is here.
5 years ago, we put the 3 books. Blue,
what's my tea?
Black and brown. We are not going to save money. Same time, we are supporting green policy and environment. When I visit in the home, leafleting, etc., so many people not use the food Vesta books. If you need it, call the council. Council give the new one. If you lost or broken, just maybe 50% people not use the brown food Vesta. Yeah, brown one. Yeah. If you put every week, I think is good enough. A lot of people like the green policy, but just few people doing something. This is not just save the money. This is environment, safety, green policy, support the green policy, all the world. Fly tipping, not the council post, but council responsibility. Our side, we are working, a lot of staff working and enforcement and camera, everything. But other side, your side, please complain to your neighbor. 99% people is okay, but just 1% people not careful. Just 1% people broken the our environment policy. Thank you, and contact your councillor, every councillor. If you not contact the mobile phone, please send email, one more. I think is they come back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Έχουμε μαζί μας απόψε τον Αρχηγό του Δημαρχείου, τον Δημοτικό Σύμβουλο Erkin, ο οποίος είχε αναδειχθεί ως αρχηγός πριν περίπου 6 μήνες. Erkin, firstly, allow me to say thank you for participating and speaking at this particular event involving officers, police officers, councillors, residents, which by observing, I think it was a very fruitful discussion with constructive ideas. And may I ask you, please, well, first let me congratulate you for getting elected into the as a leader of Enfield Council. I wish you every success in whatever you do. And also I would like to ask, what are the challenges facing Enfield Council?
Thank you so much, George, for inviting me to speak today. It's so important that we were here today at St. Demetrius Church, and it's such a high turnout from residents. They've raised some serious and important concerns, which we're here to listen to and to take action on. And all of the issues that they've raised are the issues that we are facing as a council. The most serious challenge we're facing is related to our financial situation. As you know, we've had 14 years of Conservative governments, and they cut our budgets to a serious extent, where we've had frontline cuts by the Conservative governments, which have impacted the quality of service that local authorities such as ours can give. Thanks to the new Labour government, our finances are looking stronger, and I'm hoping that they're going to fix the funding formula to give us our fair share of the money so we can deliver for the people of Edmonton and Enfield. The priorities that we have are a cleaner, fairer, safer and stronger Edmonton, and that's what we're here to deliver.
Again, you mentioned the 12 million under the PISA scheme from the government, and I think this will go towards community policing.
Operation Pisces is separate to the 12 million levelling up money we've got, but they're connected in the way that we're focusing a high amount of energy into Upper Edmonton and Edmonton Green and surrounding wards. Operation Pisces is a partnership between the police and Enfield Council, making sure that we improve the area and we tackle the causes of crime and social behaviour, organised crime, and to make sure that we have a clear hold build strategy. The £12 million levelling up money from the central government, from the new Labour government, will mean that we can invest in Upper Edmonton and Angel Edmonton and level up the area, which it desperately needs.
The other one, Ergin, is what is of a lot of concern to the people of Edmonton, for example? What concerns them most?
The people of Edmonton, as people across the country and across the capital in London, want a cleaner, safer and a greener area, and that's what we're here to deliver. That's what we've promised. We've got the mandate to deliver it. We've got serious projects in line, and we're making sure that we've prioritised cleaner, safer Enfield for all.
Again, thank you very much. Wish you every success, and I know you love Edmonton. You were born in Edmonton, and I think you have Edmonton in your heart and on your mind. And as they say, you eat, sleep, and drink Edmonton.
Thank you so much, George. And once again, thank you for organising today. As Associate Cabinet Member for Edmonton, you've done a very good job.
Well, we do try for the community.
Yeah.
We are here to serve the community, and with that in mind, we're always, as you said in your speech, we want to be working with them, with the police, the members of the public, and as you've seen tonight, they are hungry to meet us, they are thirsty to discuss with us, and we could have gone all night tonight. And I think we should try and not only continue, build up on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you very much for your participation.
No, thank you, George. Thanks very much. And a massive thank you to Hellenic TV for being here today.
Absolutely.
And for covering the meeting. I really appreciate Hellenic TV.
As usual, Hellenic has been associating itself with the community of Enfield, going back many years, not only in Enfield, Barnet, Haringey, Camden. They are through and through the community-oriented channel.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Μαζί μας έχουμε έναν πρώην Δημοτικό Σύμβουλο και νυν πρόεδρο του Εργατικού Κόμματος στο Edmonton, έναν πολύ γνωστότατο μέλος της κοινότητας, τον Νέσιμι Ερπίλ, ο οποίος είναι ο λίθος στον οποίο βασίζεται σήμερα το Εργατικό Κόμμα στο Edmonton. Nassimi, congratulations on your election as chair to the Edmonton Labour Party CLP as chair. And what are the challenges facing the Edmonton Labour?
Edmonton Labour Party, I have been chair elected just recently, and I was a secretary for the number of years. Edmonton main issue is Edmonton one of the poorest part of the UK. That's why the Edmonton Labour Councillor, we all try to get more fund for the Edmonton, more support for the Edmonton. On this meeting you saw lots of number of issues in the Edmonton, and Labour Party chair, I spoke with all my councillors. We have 17 councillors, and what they can do for the Edmonton, like early leader mentioned, swimming pool was closed and they're going to reopen it again and try to, Edmonton is a cosmopolitan area, that's why we have to work all community together for the better Edmonton, better place for the people to live and better place for the London.
Your, the Edmonton Labour Party has a lot of seats which are Labour, and it's because of that that the Labour are in control today. How do you prioritize that we ensure that there is a continuation of that strength in Edmonton?
Yeah, Edmonton is London Borough Enfield is controlling by the Labour, powering by the Labour. We have to keep it Enfield as a Labour, because when we see the west of Enfield is more majority of the Conservative, and even the north part of Enfield is more or less majority of councillor is Conservative. Edmonton has a main Labour area. When what we have to do for the future in the Edmonton is what I said earlier is a cosmopolitan area. We have African people, we have Asian, we have South American, and the councillor has to be reflected the real residents, real community. If that will be happening, we will keep the Edmonton continuous for the Labour, and the Edmonton is the main power of the Enfield's councillors from Edmonton. That's why we have to make sure, like, we should have a Greek councillors, we should have a Bangladeshi, we should have an African, we should have a Jamaican, we should have
board, indeed.
Yeah, across the borough, we have to be like this to keep the Enfield runs perfectly.
Thank you very much indeed. And as you said, quietly right said, it's one of the most deprived areas.
Yes.
And that's why I believe our good leader, Erkin Erbil, is putting a lot of emphasis in it to change that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the council at the moment is a leader from Edmonton, number of the cabinet members from the Edmonton,
Yes.
which is good for us. I can see the government is become a Labour now. Labour government is going to some promise to the sport to the Enfield, and that majority of these sports funds will come to the Edmonton. Edmonton is the second part of the UK's poverty area.
It's a very united party.
Yeah.
We are all rally behind the leader.
Yes.
And I believe you are very supportive of the leader, and rightly so.
Yes, we do.
I wish, no need for me to say it, but I will say it, every success to all of them who are involved in Edmonton to make life better.
Exactly.
And thank for everybody, for those who study, visit, and live in Enfield. But thank you very much.
Yeah, Labour Party have number of manifesto. What we put on the manifesto, all our councillors try to leave the manifesto.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All the very best.